Right, everybody. Yeah, doing a music production stream, doing it differently today. Just practicing in. Got to get used to doing it this way. It's been a while. Yeah, I've got several tracks that I'm going to go through. Maybe rediscover a few other tunes that I haven't touched in a long time. Also, just checking the sound to make sure things sound good on this stream because I've totally redone everything. So it's a work in progress. But I got a new camera, new mic, new headphones. Not a new setup, but those are the main things. Have a few new lights, things like that. So trying to do this and make it nice for you guys. Um, yeah, I don't expect that as many people will be watching me do this as I DJ, and that's fine. This is something I'm going to be doing throughout the summer months and probably a little bit more regularly since I have been doing a lot more work. But anyway, if you are in the chat, feel free to say hello and talk with me, and I'll talk back. Yeah, I'll try my best to be entertaining and remember to talk to the stream. And yeah, instead of just like being in the zone, which I might get into the zone. So it is what it is, but that's where we are. That's what we're doing. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and test overall sound. Actually, I'm going to start from the beginning because I want to listen through this. And hopefully it's not taking up too much processing power, which is something I'm a little worried about. Otherwise, I'll have to transfer files over to my other computer and basically do the two PC streaming setup, which is totally doable, but anyway. So what are we doing here? We're working on these little chimes. I mean, before it was just stock chimes all the way through. Of course, a few little plugins before, but it was just flat, the whole breakdown through. And I want to give a little bit of motion to it. Make it transition is what I'm trying to do here. That added a pretty cool layer to it, but I think that I want it to go a little bit later. Hey, special tater brethren, how are you? Great to have you in, man. You're listening to an original, currently called Cameraman, but I think I'm going to change the name. Hope you're well. Let me know what you think. Ask questions. Talk to me. I'm lonely. All right, man. Hanging in. I spent most of this evening working on this whole setup. How does it sound, like the mic and the music sound, by the way? Hopefully you can hear both. That would be bad if you couldn't. But I'm doing well, man. I'm just excited to get back into the streaming big. That's so good to hear. Oh my God, thank God. Levels are good, levels are good, levels are good. Well, for you, sir, I am going to go ahead and start this from the beginning. And yeah, I'll probably play around with a few things, but let me know what you think. Which is happening first? Is the video happening first, or is it the sound? Anyway, let me know, because I was trying to fix a little bit of that. It was actually the sound was delayed, and I tried to fix that a little bit, but all right, I'm gonna pause it. And I'm gonna say boom, bap, boom, bap. Now you tell me if the audio was a little delayed. I think it probably was. I did delay the video. Audio is delayed. Yep. I'll try to delay it more. It was actually delayed 500 milliseconds, and that's the most that I could do right out of the gate. But thank you for letting me know. I'll definitely try to fix that. Appreciate it. So yeah, really quick, everybody, for those of you joining. Yeah, this production stream, I haven't done one of these in a long time. Couple years now that I think about it. No, it hasn't been that long. Probably about a year. With that said, I've done a lot of new things. I've got a new camera. I've got a new mic. I've got the Lofi set up. It's all wireless. Yeah, man, gotta get shit right. Gotta get it right. But a whole new setup, so hopefully it at least sounds good. But that is super annoying that there's still a little bit of a delay. Hopefully we can fix that. Anyway, I'm gonna start from the top here. Enjoy the tune, and I'm gonna fix a few things here, and then we're gonna get into a few other tunes that I'm working on, and we might delve into some older ambient stuff that I made probably like 2 years ago, but I think it still sounded really cool. But anyway, enough of me. Back to the beat. If you guys have any questions or just want to chat, man, I mean, that's why I'm here for it. Hey man, I would be more than happy to show you how I do things, and maybe it'll help. It's a tough nut to crack, man, so don't worry. It took me a long time to even get to this point. Yeah. Using sampled sounds is the way to go, in my opinion. 100%. I mean, sample culture, baby. And to be honest, once you get into the zone and learn how to make a sample your own, I think that that's where you're still making music. And, you know, yeah, sure, you could sound design everything, your own kick drum, synthesize every single little thing, but that's a lot of time, that's a lot of energy, and you end up not being as creative because it's highly technical most of the time. So I got you. Maybe a little bit later we'll actually start one from scratch, and I'll show you what I do with it. just so you guys know, what I was just doing there was properly gain staging. You probably heard what that is, you probably understand what it is, but I've found a way to do it dynamically. Or maybe not completely dynamically, but it's the best method that I've found thus far. And so speaking of samples, I just want to show you that this is actually the bass. And I'll just solo the bass, and I will zoom in here just so you can kind of see what we're working with. These are all sampled. These are all sampled bass pieces that I've spliced together one way or the other. And it's kind of awesome. And so let's just have a listen. That's it. iSpeak Computer is not lying. You can get, and yeah, couldn't agree more. I'm not gonna lie, iSpeak Computer. I thought you were bot for a second. It was like, go download something for free. I was like, oh, bots already? I was like, no. Anyway, welcome in. Thank you. And iSpeak Computer's 100% right. Go download the free Ableton trial for 90 days. Ableton Lite is more than enough if you don't already have it. And then what I also use is Loop Cloud. And this is something I started using about 2 years ago. When it first launched, I was like, this is really interesting. And I tried to use something called Splice. Let's go ahead and make like a brand new live set. I'm actually going to save this really quick. Beep, beep, boop, boop, bop, bop, beep. And we'll start a new one. More the technique, yeah. I mean, yeah, DAW isn't the problem, but for some people that aren't aware, Ableton is the way to go. Some people, think I've tried a lot. I've tried Logic, I've tried Fruity Loops, I've tried, Sony Acid Pro. You guys remember that? Digital Performer, if you guys know what that is. I'm old. Okay, that's what that means. But anyway, Ableton Live is the way to go. Couldn't recommend it enough. And here we are in a totally blank session. And I've got Loop Cloud already loaded up because I've got a template going. I also have something on my master, which I do personally. I actually start producing in mono. I won't do this in this case, and I do this for pre-mastering. And basically, if it sounds good in mono, it's going to sound badass in stereo. Okay. I also dip the high frequencies a little bit because of the frequency response that I have in these headphones. These are pretty darn good, but I've noticed and I've heard from other producers, they've told me, hey, you don't have as much sparkle on the high end. And I was like, okay. And like, what do you suggest I do? And they were like, listen, when you're mixing, go ahead and just dip that down a little bit. And then, basically you'll have that little bit of extra sparkle in there while you're mixing and producing. So that's something new I'm trying. But anyway, going back to Loop Cloud, and the reason why I like it so much, and I'm going to go over into that view. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. It is, what do I think it's like $80 or something like that for the year, and you're given a bunch of credits and things like that. And each song, or each, not song, but sample that you get costs like 1, 2, 3, 4 credits, whatever. But let's go ahead and start with drum and bass as a genre. Okay. boom, it's going to pull up samples, all drum and bass samples. But let's say we want to start with just the kick and snare. And we can also choose whether or not it's a loop or a one shot. So these are some things that I use. And again, there's this whole thing of people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't use samples," things like that. I mean, drum and bass is sample culture, 100%. I mean, that's what jungle was. You took the almond break and you sped it up. That is sampling. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, let's just take this one. I think they actually have halftime in here too. Let's make a halftime track. And before we get too antsy, let's go ahead and go back to Ableton and actually get our BPM correct up at the top here. I want something pretty deep. I like it. Anyway, so I go here, I click the buy button down at the bottom right. Boom, just bought it. I've got like 1,500 credits. They give you 2,000 a year or like 1,000 a year or something like that. More than enough. I can't keep up. And I literally click and just drag it right in. And here it is. We're ready to go. Let's just go out about a minute or so. This bad boy. Now, what I was telling you guys about gain staging is that I have my own little method. I use something called Hornet LU meter, and it'll auto, basically based off of LUFS, LUFS, what the proper gain should be. And so it automatically said, hey, for this to be gain staged properly, you need to drop the gain negative 9.7 dB. I also have a very lightweight gain control here, and I just not negative 9.7. Boom. Now that's great. Now here I've doubled it up, but here at the bottom, I'm going to go and delete that dynamic meter and then hide that. So that's done. It is now gain staged. It is good to go. Everything that I'm going to do from here on out is going to have the proper signal all the way through. That's like super big. It has changed the way that I mix. I'm telling you, and I think Hornet LU meter is like what, $10, maybe 5. Could not recommend them enough. Super lightweight, powerful stuff. Now, of course, if you have that, if you keep that that plug-in on all of your tracks in between each instrument or effect, that's going to be a lot of CPU load. You don't need that much, and that's why I have the super lightweight gain. It's just the gain, boom, knockdown, gain stage, done. And this is pretty vanilla, right? And we're going to keep it like this for now. So we've got our basic drum loop, and now we want some bass, right? So let's go ahead and take out the kick and the snare from the search, and we're going to go bass. Kind of filthy. I like that. Filthy. Super low. definitely a heavy drop. Now you can spend a lot of time in here and go through all of these samples, and it's never ending. I mean, it's just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. You get to the bottom, get more results. I mean, here's some heavy dubstep. I mean, already in the span of what, like 3 minutes with me talking, or like 5 minutes with me talking, this was probably better than what I had produced in the first 3 years of trying to produce. So, Luke Cloud, I'm telling you, it's fantastic. But I do like this, and we're gonna take this in here, drop it in again. So I've already bought that. And let's find another bass that we like. And throw it in and chop it up. I already like this one too. And so I'm gonna do the same thing, and it gets a little annoying. I wish there was some way to do this faster. Maybe someday Ableton will have built-in gain staging. Maybe, Ableton 11 point whatever. I'm still in Ableton 10, whatever. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and loop this section, and we're just going to simply cut out some stuff and see if we can make some room for this. Should be okay. But anyway, we'll do something like this. Just cut out some of the stuff that might be conflicting. Keep that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Let's just see how it's done. And you can get a lot more in depth, but already, I mean, that's basically it. And so what I would do here is go ahead and put it, we'll zoom out a little bit. We've said, okay, these are let's say that's the bass that we want to use. Take this, copy all the way through, and now a little bit more advanced, and what I often do is group the bass. And I have created my own parallel compression. Hopefully this doesn't get pretty loud, right? Don't worry. But this is going to glue them together. I do have isotope trash, which is distortion, and you can do some really cool things with this as well. Oh, don't stop playing. Selection. Just to add a little texture to that bass. I mean, that's a lot of texture, right? But so already we've got our, we've got our drum loop, and we can do plenty more here to add to it. Fills, chopping that up, you know, messing around with that takes time. But here, just using samples, this is a unique bass line, and it's got its own flavor. It's nice. Intense Complex, what up? Welcome in. And here we go. Sounds good, right? Well, let's head on over to Loop Cloud, and let's go ahead and get sick with it. All right, let's take off the bass. And actually, they have an Explore tab, and these are all of these different packs that they have. And they've got, I mean, this is Loop Masters, you know, so you can imagine how many samples and loops that they have. Let's throw in some acapella. It's gospel R&B. Fuck it. America. Maybe it won't work.
Anything for you, so you'll hear it.
All right, now before we get into that, I also want to show you one other thing. There's another plugin called Hornet Song Key, which is super helpful for me because I'll be working with loops and all of these different things, and I'll be like, damn, what key is this in? And all I have to do is plug that bad boy in on whatever track, and I'm just going to put it on the bass. Yeah, the snare's too short. I mean, we can definitely chop the snare up, but for right now, we've put the beat in where we're just messing around here, or at least just laying down this idea for sure. But yeah, I kind of do agree. I would like that snare to have a little bit of reverb to it, and definitely needs a little bit more pop. I would probably put compression, just like I did on the bass group, right on the drums as well, to really make them pop. And okay, so anyway, we're gonna find the key of this thing. E major. We are in E major. Easy enough. And once I know the key, I'll just get rid of that. I don't need it anymore. Boom, done. But now we're going to go over to my lovely little loop cloud, and there's a little thing here called pitch, and I can lock it, and we can put it right in E. It'll tell you if it's an A minor or whatever, but we're in E major, so let's say this female vocal is now going to be in the key of E major. Now,
I am yours, you are my love, I'm cherished each moment.
Now, I don't think that sounds good, but it proves the point. It was in the right key. high-speed computer. Couldn't agree more. Hornet LU and Hornet LU meter MK2 and Hornet Song Key MK4. Italian developers, these guys love what they do. Big ups to them. Okay, but let's go back to exploring. Let's find something that might look good. Melodious keys. It's still locked to E, so that'll make our lives easier. Not the right vibe. Down tempo and chill. Let's see what we got here. Now this is of course in a minor key, so it can still work. I like that kind of dark vibe going on here. A little pensive. This pattern. I do like this, so I'm just gonna throw it in. And sometimes you're gonna get something and you're gonna be like, you're gonna drop it in, and you're gonna be like, not really feeling it. Now, one of the things about samples, especially melodies, is that you're gonna wanna change the sample to not but beats, but complex pro, and it's gonna sound a lot better. Main stage it really quick. And of course, I would probably go in here and clean everything up, even, warp-wise. I mean, here you can kind of see things are just a little off. Try to kind of get them a little tighter here and there. And then from there, just copy them over. Yo, I'm back. I don't know what happened, man. It's a bit strange, but trying to figure out the power situation with it, because if it's connected, if the USB is connected directly into the computer, into the GoPro, it thinks it's USB connected, not HDMI connected, whatever. Anyway, you guys have been listening to this loop for a long time. Let's try to make it sound a little better. I like these keys, but let's throw in, this is one of my favorite little plugins, or whatever effects. It's called Dangerous Wash, and I think it's from one of the more free packs. I will find out what pack it is in a second. But it's super simple and just gives you a nice clean filter and some reverb right packed in there. It's just super easy. And thank you for the follow, by the way, I Speak Computer. Much love. Oh, all right, gotta give that a quick rest for a second. Anyway, so we pretty quickly, despite the, GoPros are prone to overheating sometimes. I don't think it was overheating, it was an actual power issue, but anyway, we quickly put together, with me talking, of course, something of what I'd call just like a nugget. You know, hey, we've got this nugget, we've got this pretty cool sound going. Probably drop this down a little bit. I like that. I mean, I think it's got a pretty cool sound to it. But of course, you're also going to want to throw in some things like tops. And so here I would probably go back to my search, put in halftime top. I like the sound of that. So here again, I'm going to go ahead and group these bad boys. Rename drum group. Drop on my parallel compression. And I can probably talk your ear off on this parallel compression and how I created it, but I will spare you for today. So this is with the parallel compression on. This is with it off. On. Yeah, that's a story for another time. Before I forget, let me find that the pack that it came from. I think it was Build and Drop, and the effects, mixing and mastering, maybe performance and DJ. No, maybe Space, probably Space. No, not Build and Drop. Chop and Swing. Modulation Rhythmic. No. Drive and Glow, probably. It's one of these. And one of the things that you can get overwhelmed with very quickly is the amount of effects and all of these different things. And I took a minimalistic approach. I was like, listen, I'm only going to install the packs that I have time to go through. And it was definitely Glitch and Wash. That's the one. And Space. Yeah, Glitch and Wash was the Glitch and Wash was the pack. Under Space, Dangerous Wash. That is, I put it on so many things. It's just super quick and can really provide a lot of space. And you know, if you want to do something fancier, you can totally do it. But it's one really quick, and sometimes I just keep it on as it is. But anyway. And I was telling the story about keeping it minimal. Only install what you have time to actually go through and play around with. You can very quickly get overwhelmed with sensory overload. You know, I mean, it's just too many options. And there we have it. There was a quick little, what I'd, again, like to call a nugget. And one of the things that I talked about earlier was that, and I said that I was going to turn it off, and I forgot to. And here's the fun part, is that if you thought that sounded good, which I do think it sounded pretty good. Now, that was in mono. That whole time we were playing around in mono. I also had the sparkly bits turned down a little bit. So this is the fun part, because we're going to turn that off, and you're going to hear the difference. Now, something that you may have noticed is that I am redlining. This is loud. Overall, pretty balanced, except for the drum group. Yeah, so much brighter. But I do like the levels the way they are, so all I need to do is just highlight all of these, and let's just bring them down about 6 dB. And here I am at about negative 2 dB. I probably should do a little bit more. Usually try to keep the ears, you know, not bleeding, on top of the fact that you should always be pre-mastering. And by that I mean more or less mixing and preparing for your master send out to a mastering engineer. And here we are. It's just a nice, quick way to do things. So, recap. Loop Cloud. Okay? Fantastic. Just stellar. And they have so many genres. I don't even know. I think let's just have a look and go into browse collections, browse packs. I don't know. I'm still they kind of redid their user interface. I actually kind of like the old one better, but hey, it is what it is. But I mean, if we go into genre, no. I know there's a way to see all of the different genres and what they are. Tags, yeah, tags. And then you can look under genres and see all of the different genres that you have. Tons of them. So, bam, there we have it. The world is your oyster, I'm telling you. So, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm going to call it, oh, I don't want to put camera in it again, but I kind of want to, was like power outage. We're going to call it power outage. Drum and bass, halftime, power outage. Boom. Collect all and save, so it saves all the samples in case I ever go to a different computer and need to pick that up. And again, I'm just going to listen to, like if we thought, while we were doing this, if this sounded good, and then turning it off just sounds full. I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, again, I probably could have put that together in like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, if I wasn't talking and, streaming and all of that jazz, but there it is. There we have it. So yeah, I do want to go into a few of the other things that I was working on. I kind of want to listen to this track that I played around with. I don't remember what it is. We're gonna do a little dive in and see which tune we want to work on for a few. Oh, my pleasure, Special Tater. Thank you guys for chilling, vibing. Oh, I remember this one. Oh.
I put them on, nigga. I make them start my voice. Destination matter. If you see on PC, I put them on, nigga. I make them start my voice. Destination matter. If you see on PC,
I don't really want to work on this one, to be honest. I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of really cool things going on. I like the vocals, but I need to really chop them up and play around with that a lot. I think it's a pretty long tune. Well, maybe not that long, but I think that it needs to be shortened. We need to do kind of a lot of work. Got to put in a lot of effects and things like that, transitions, all things that honestly I don't have the bandwidth to do right now. So apologies, but hey, we're gonna dig into something else. Um, F time happy. Beep beep boop boop. By the way, Special Tater, I think I did add a little bit more delay into the video. Let me know if there's better sound synchronization.
Why would you leave? Yeah. Is it video lag or is it audio lag? So, bam. Oh yeah, yeah. That lag, the audio lag with the that will happen, and that'll happen for a few different reasons. One of the reasons is that I'm actually running all of the audio through Voicemeeter, so that the sound, I can ensure that all of the sound is getting to you through OBS, things like that. It gets really finicky if you're using system sounds. Anyway, so yeah, that's something that, and then also the more plugins and things that I have will be will delay it. It'll actually delay even on my end, um, and that's because, well, I'm working on a mini PC. I have a gaming PC, but the processor is old. It's from 2013, and it can't handle this stuff. But this processor is from 2018, so solid 5 years later, is manageable and can actually work with it. So anyway, that's why. So you guys feel free to donate. Thousands of dollars, hundreds even is fine. Okay, no pressure. Okay, no pressure. So I like this. I don't know. I think I've fooled around with this middle section here. I mean, this was an old piece and I clearly had it muted, and it's just, eh. Yeah, no pressure, guys, no pressure.
Why would you leave?
I just don't think it's the right vibe for this tune. I like it, I like the sound here, but there was a reason why I disabled that track. I agree.
Why would you leave?
I will have to say, I do like, I like this part. Where it can really add to a build-up, but
Why would you leave?
we can keep that in there, but I agree, like the middle plex is just not right. Let's go to our favorite tool, Loop Cloud, and play around with this. So one of the things that we don't have a lot of is we do have some effects here, transitions. It's kind of like na na na, which I like. And you would definitely want to play around with the pattern and spread these sounds out. That's a pad. This is the strange thing about going through old songs is like you're wondering like what the hell is this? I don't even know what to call this section. It says intro group, but it goes through the whole thing. Also, transient shapers are huge, very powerful. I'll just kind of show you. I have this on here and I can turn it on and off. So this is the stock sound. And then with it on and off. So you can quickly increase the attack, kind of mellow out that attack using the quote unquote pump, and then you can have it sustain if you want. but I didn't want that much sustain. So anyway, transient shaper, I think this is on kilohertz transient shaper. I think I forget how much I paid for it, but I use it all the time. I think they even have some things with the new Ableton that'll do the same thing. So, you know, to each your own. And so this was actually my old method of doing things, is on the drum group, I just have the glue compressor, and glue compressor is a fantastic tool. One of the things you'll always want to do is you're going to want to turn the ratio down to 2, so it's not super strong. And you're going to be able to glue things a lot softer. I mean, there are times that you would want to glue things hard together, but generally softer is better. You don't need a lot of glue to make it stick. I think that's the way I like to put it. But anyway, my old method was group them up, slap the glue compressor on, you know, it'll be a little bit louder. It's going to feel glued together. It's going to sound good. Sometimes I do keep that. Right now I'm going to take that off. Again, I've been using the parallel compression most recently. And it's definitely going to be louder, but it's also going to give you the stock sounds along with the compressed sounds. And I've got this sucker heavily compressed. This is MAG EQ4, MAAG. This is a compressor that Airstrike, Mike Airstrike from Off-World Recordings recommended to me, and I got it, and it is a beast. Classic sound. This thing slaps. Anyway, that's what that is. So here we're going to go ahead. I slapped that on. I'm going to listen to it. Already these drums sound better in my opinion. Here I actually did just slap my, what I call the default mastering chain onto this. This is again something new. I put everything in mono, not in mono. Now, something that I should start doing a little bit more is making sure that the bass is also in mono. And this is in bass mono. So in the utility section, there's a tool called utility. First of all, pro tip, never automate volume. Never automate these bad boys. Never automate these sliders, ever. Because mixing will be horrendous. In fact, impossible. Never, ever do that. If you ever want to decrease the volume or anything of that matter on any track, use the utility function. Use a gain function, okay, and automate it that way. So that's fine. But when you're mixing and you want to go into mixing mode and balance things out just right the way you want, you're going to want to have these sliders. So never automate these sliders. Yeah, ever. Don't do it. I don't, yeah. Feel free to argue with me though. But I will say is like, no, you're going to run into problems later on. All right. So the bass has a Okay, we're doing all right. But we still need something in this section, and I think it might just be too long. But let's explore. Actually, I like that sound.
Why would you leave?
Is that like a Loch Ness monster? Anyway, yeah, I liked it. Also, again, I put an EQ8, which is this, one of the standard EQs in Ableton on basically everything automatically. So every time that I create a new channel, it'll automatically pop up. I also have the same gain staging piece that I've talked about several times already. But the reason why I do that is so that I can quickly take out the middle and bass frequencies for something that shouldn't and doesn't need bass frequency. If you want it to really thump, then you can, but it's often not necessary, I've found. I like that ride. That'll give it some good motion throughout.
Why would you leave?
See, again, one of the reasons why I love this piece or this thing called Dangerous Wash is that it's so easy to do your filter. And let's say we're here. can't really hear it now, but we'll want to bring it up and then bring it back down. Let's just do this really quick. So right here, let's take this out. That. So just want to take this out. There we go. And we'll want to add in the reverb time. So you can basically do some really cool effects really quickly.
Why would you leave? Why would you leave? Why would you leave? Why would you leave?
What you did today was hard. When you're hurt, hurting others is easy. It takes strength to choose not to. When life has not treated you with kindness, doing the right thing anyway always takes strength. When you can even tell what the right thing is.